Hey, Rick,
Hey there.
is this a good time?
Yeah, it's good for me.
Rick, I had a question for you.
It's just you and me. Is that kosher?
Absolutely.
I just wanted you to walk me through the whole thing again and how it works.
We help the wealthiest families in the U.S. get their kids into school. So I've done 761 what I would call side doors. The front door means getting in on your own. So I've created this kind of side door in because my families want a guarantee.
Rick Hong here for Hollywood First Look. Today, I'm with director Chris Smith, and we are talking his film, Operation Varsity Blues, The College Admission Scandal. So did this spark a nerve for you like it did everyone else? And that's why you're like, man, I have to be the one to direct this as a film.
You know, anytime that you see a story break that's, this widely covered, to me, it's always, I like to think that there could be an opportunity to tell a greater story within, that people might not be as familiar with. And so I think going into it, I wasn't convinced that there would be something there, but, we did, just started doing some research, and in doing that, we found that there was this affidavit, and within the affidavit, there were these transcripts of, wiretap phone calls that the FBI had done. And in that, felt like there was an opportunity to add to the conversation and potentially do something a little bit different.
Why the choice of reenactment versus lately, when I watch documentaries, I know that when people need filler, they start using animation. So I was wondering why you chose reenactment with Matthew Modine on this one.
I think going into it, we had a good sense that we probably wouldn't get Rick Singer and that we probably wouldn't get, parents to speak to us. So I think, because they were at the center of this story, the dialogue between them was sort of the main window that we had into the world, and the way that the dialogue that was happening around how this worked, and sort of the way that people communicated, and sort of what the opportunity was. And so to us, it was like the greatest, window into, the story.
How was it having Matthew Modine playing Rick Singer, and how about that ridiculous haircut?
We kept looking at things that existed of Matthew, and we're like, trying to get our heads around if he could really play the part. But in doing our research, we came to a conclusion that Rick had to be somewhat charismatic, somewhat, obviously intelligent to pull something like this off. And so I think we were looking for someone that embodied those characteristics. And, being a great actor, to me, just gave me the confidence that he would be somebody that, could embody that person.
Is there something else that was really big that you wanted to be able to expand on in this, but you couldn't?
I mean, there were so many things. I think the topic of education in this country is something that, could be explored in a number of different films. I think we were just excited to be, hopefully create something that is, one small piece of a greater conversation about equality in education in this country.
Doing this, did it take you back? I don't know if you went through that whole process. It took me back. I mean, I remember being in school and the PSATs, the SAT, the ACTs, applying for college. I did so much.
I do. I think, when I think part of our motivation for including these, there were a lot of clips that we found on YouTube of students going through the process and documenting it themselves, and sort of the admissions process, and getting either acceptance letters or rejection letters, and you could feel the weight of that on them. And so for us, that was a really important part to try to include, just to sort of understand the pressure that these kids, and consequently some of the parents, are under.
And then finally, do you look at this as a case of just white privilege? I know that word gets thrown out there, but it seems to be this is what this is. I don't know if you agree with that.
I think in this country, if you go to an amusement park, you can pay more money and get a fast pass, and it allows you to cut the line. And there's many examples of a tiered system. And I think that this, a lot of people probably suspected that this existed, but maybe weren't really sure. So I think in a way it probably confirmed what a lot of people already thought might be. I think to me, one of the things that was more sort of interesting to look at was just this whole huge business around independent educational consultants, right? And like that in and of itself is not illegal, and it is a tiered system based on economics and wealth and privilege, you know. So to me, that was something that was interesting to explore further.
The movie is Operation Varsity Blues, the college admissions scandal. It's on Netflix now. Until next time, I'm Rick Hong, and you've been watching Hollywood First Look.
In America, we love the wealthy and we hate the wealthy. They disgust us and they fascinate us.
I'm going to do over 730 of these side doors this year. It's the home run of home runs.
And it works?
Every time.